Hello FTM Fantastic, my name's Luke and this week we're doing the gender tag. Now, I apologise, I'm a little bit all over the place and I've really got a lot on at the moment and I'm kind of going through a bit of an identity crisis, but that's not for here, so let's move on to the gender tag. Okay, great. Question 1. How do you self-identify your gender and what does that definition mean to you? I identify as male. That is my gender. There's nothing more to it, I'm just male. What does that mean to me? I don't know, I'm just male. It's kind of hard, I don't really think about it. I kind of feel like, you know, when you ask a cis person, like, why are they're a certain gender? I kind of feel the same about my gender. I don't really think about it too much. I just know I identify as male. What pronouns honor you? Now, honor is a really cool word, like, what pronouns honor you? And I think that's good because, you know, like, you're honoring a trans person's wishes and you're giving them respect by using the correct pronouns. My pronouns are he and him. And his, I suppose. Describe the clothing style you most often wear. Generally t-shirts, and I like t-shirts with like funky patterns, like this one's awesome, this one's from Cat Black Shop, and like I fell in love, and I've got like another one that's got pineapples all over it, and I'm just like, yeah, okay. I also like t-shirts just with like, just funny graphics on them, but not like band tees or anything. I'm not really into like band tees or TV show tees. I've got one with a giant sloth on it, and I've got one with like a little bird with a tequila bottle, you know, like weird t-shirts, I guess. Cool t-shirts, I suppose. And like jeans, generally, or just like chinos. I'm really short, so it's really hard to find pants. So anything that fits, really, that doesn't make me feel dysphoric, which is very hard to find. Very, very hard to find. But I also have some days where I feel really proper and I'll wear like button-up shirts, sort of like more of a preppy style, I suppose. Like polo shirts, button-up shirts, nice shirts. I really like dressing up fancy, so I have a suit and I've got a tie collection and a bow tie collection. And I think I'm at like 20 ties or something like that. So yeah, ties, bow ties, pretty cool. Question 4. Talk about your choices with body hair. How do you style your hair? Do you have facial hair? What do you choose to shave or choose not to shave? I don't shave anywhere. Everything, just hair everywhere, except for my face. I shave my face because my facial hair at the moment isn't at the stage where I'd like it. And I'm gonna say something which kind of most people don't expect, but I don't want a beard. I want facial hair, but not a beard. I kind of want sort of some stubble, but I don't want a beard because I feel that would just look really weird on me, and I just never really have been a fan of beards, so probably won't be growing a beard, sorry, but stubble would be nice. I leave it for maybe 2 days and then I shave it because my hair grows really fast, so I shaved today, so you can't see anything, but my hair grows really fast, like I have to shave like every 2 or 3 days, otherwise you can see it and it's really gross. But it's not thick enough and I'm not really happy with it, so yeah, I shave that. As for head hair, I just use wax and I basically up and to the side, and I get it short. When I get my haircut, I get it probably maybe a 4 or 5 on the sides and back, and then I get scissor cut on the top. And I'm trying to grow out the top, but last time I had a haircut, the barber just chopped all my hair off, and it was quite sad, and it took me a while to get over it. And I've had the same hairstyle since I was like 16. Question 5. Talk about cosmetics. Do you choose to wear makeup? Do you paint your nails? What types of soaps and perfumes do you use, if any? I don't really use cosmetics. The only things I use are to treat my acne or pimples. I don't put any makeup on, I don't put anything else on, and I don't paint my nails. Makeup's been a bit uncomfortable for me, and always has really. I've never really felt comfortable wearing makeup. And yeah, the only times I ever have worn makeup were when I was like held down and people like put a mascara brush in my face. I've never ever willingly worn makeup, ever, unless it's for a joke. So none of that, thanks. As for soaps, I use this really awesome body wash, and it's mint and tea tree, and it smells magnificent. Like, I wish you could be smelling this right now. This is amazing. It leaves your body just tingly. It's just amazing. I use the Manly shampoo, but that's only because I wear wax in my hair every day, and like that one's better at removing that. Like, I found other shampoos aren't as good at that, and like because it's targeted for men who generally use wax in their hair, it's like better at removing the wax. This is probably a good time to talk about gendered items because yeah, everyone gets shitty that items are gendered, but to be honest, I find gendered items quite validating, and I will use the male thing, and I do sometimes feel uncomfortable using the female equivalent because I feel like for so long I've been forced into the female gender box, and to finally be able to be in the male gender box is great, and I don't want that to, it just makes me feel better. So be angry at me all you want, but that's how I feel about my gender, and so yeah, I feel validated when using marketed male items. So yeah, I wear cologne. My mum bought me 2 really nice colognes for my birthday, so I'm like loving life at the moment. Number 6. Have you experienced being misgendered? If so, how often? I have not been misgendered by a stranger in probably about a year and a half. Even pre-T, I passed very well. I passed probably about 95% of the time, generally as a really young boy, but always as a boy. So I'm very lucky in that regard. Like, looking back at pictures, I have no idea how I passed as well as I did, but I passed really well. So I had no issue with that, which was great for me. But most of the time I wasn't. It was mainly just by people deliberately misgendering me, and that was shit. People who don't like that I'm trans, like, purposely misgender me, but you know what, like, I don't really give a shit about them. So yes, I have been misgendered. It sucks. I think if I were misgendered now, I'd just look very confused I would be confused rather than hurt. So that's great. Number 7, do you experience dysphoria? How does this affect you? I do experience dysphoria. I'm very lucky that I've had top surgery, but even at the moment, it's still really swollen. So because of that, I feel a little bit like I still got a chest, and that makes me kind of uncomfortable. So I've still got a little bit of chest dysphoria, which sounds really weird. I was not expecting that. I was like, oh yeah, top surgery, like once I have top surgery, like I'm not gonna have any chest dysphoria. Like no, I still have chest dysphoria, because it doesn't feel like I've had surgery. Like, it does, but it's complicated. It's complicated. But because of like the way my procedure is, and like I don't have scars underneath, like I guess it's sort of like a visual thing, you know, like if you've had top surgery with like double incision, you look down and it's like, oh, I've got the scars, you know, whereas me, it's like, I just have tape around my nipples, and I could still be pre-op, even though I'm not, but like I could be, you know? Because of all the swelling, it makes my chest like, chest out. I had a pretty small chest pre-op, so it's like, it's not like a massive difference, like, yeah, I don't know, it's weird. That's not crippling, but it's like, it's still a bit of an issue. I have lots of issues with my hips and my leg. I also get bottom dysphoria, and I get bottom dysphoria really bad. I use Packers to relieve this, like I've got a Peacock Gen 2, and that's alright, but I know it's really difficult and not fun, and I definitely need bottom surgery in the future. Like, I know that there's no way I could just live with how my body is now. Wow, suddenly everything's gotten really sad. Let's just move on to something else. What's the next question? Please be something more cheerful. 8, talk about children. Are you interested in having children? Would you want to carry a child if that were an option for you? Do you want to be the primary caretaker for any children you may have? Of course, the next question is not even more cheerful. Children is something that is very difficult for me to talk about because I have always wanted biological children, but there's no way that I would be able to have biological children with the gametes that I produce, as no matter what, I would feel like I am that child's mother, and I can't deal with that. Even if like my wife was the one to have the child and birth the child, if that child had my DNA, I would know that they would need a sperm in order to fertilize my gamete, and that would make me feel like the mother and that person feel like the father, and there's no way I can deal with that. Definitely I'm going to have children in the future. I probably will end up having IVF or adopt, as a way for me to deal with the fact that I'm not cis and that I just see myself as an infertile cis guy, which sounds kind of weird, but I kind of pretend that I don't have the parts that I do in order to deal with it. So I just treat myself as infertile, and that's just how I deal with it, because I can't deal with the fact that I'm not infertile and that I technically could have children, and like the thought of like, I just can't even talk about the thought, like I don't, you know, like I completely block that out. I know that sounds really strange, but yeah. I'll have kids one day. They won't be biologically mine, but they will still be mine, and I will be their dad. I will be the best dad I possibly can for them. It's about how you raise your kids, not anything biological. So at the end of the day, as much as it sucks I can't have biological kids, I can still have kids, and that's beautiful. So I'm gonna do that. As for being the primary caretaker of my children, I want it to be as equal as possible. I don't want to be someone that just works 9 to 5 and doesn't really see my kids and just is like the main provider of my family. I want it to be equal, and with partners, I've never been with anyone who would just settle for just being a housewife. Like, I've always been with very career-driven women, and I really admire that, and I am really attracted to that. So our relationship and our relationship with our children would be as equal as possible. I love children, and so I would quite happily be a house husband for a little bit, to be completely honest. And I know that goes kind of completely against like the whole male stereotype of like, oh, you've got to provide for your children, but if my wife would want to go to work after having kids and would prefer me to take paternal care and take care of them, I would definitely be up for that. So yeah. 9. Talk about money. Is it important to you to provide for a family financially if you choose to have one? Is it important to you that you earn more than your partner you may have? Do you prefer to pay for things like dates? Are you uncomfortable when others pay for you or offer to pay for you? This is actually a really interesting question, and I'm really glad that this is in the gender tag because I don't think this is talked about very much. Yes, it is important to me that I'm able to financially support my family when I choose to have that. No, I do not care if I'm the primary provider. I don't care if my wife will make more money than me, and I don't see why that matters. At the end of the day, we're working together, not competing. We'll combine everything anyway, so it doesn't matter who makes more as long as we're both putting in enough effort. There's no point me getting angry and jealous of her for earning more money than me because like what's that gonna do, you know? At the end of the day, we're a team. As supposed for dates, well, my girlfriend and I have the system where we alternate who pays. So I'll pay for a date, then she'll pay for a date, then I'll pay for a date, and she'll pay for a date. Yeah, so my camera died, so we're just going to ignore that happened. My girlfriend and I have a system where we will alternate as to who pays the date. So I'll pay the date, then she'll pay the date, then I'll pay the date, then she'll pay the date. And I'm telling you, this is a great system. Think about it logically. You can't have as many dates. For example, if I'm the one that has to pay for every single date that Emily and I go on, if we go to the movies like once a week, or if we go out for dinner, for example, if she pays for some of them, that money that she has that she wouldn't be putting into the dates is just sitting there for like other things, and I'm putting in more money, so therefore it's like I can't afford it because I can't pay for all these dates where there's money there. So if she puts more money in, instead of us sacrificing and not being able to go on as many dates, we can go on more dates. So we just alternate. It just makes a lot more sense. And I still feel good because I can still pay for her, but at the same time, it's nice to be paid for every now and then. It's nice. And I understand the whole like guy thing where it's like, oh no, I'm a dude, I've got to like pay for the date, but like I think that's stupid, and Emily thinks that's stupid, and so many people think that's stupid, so don't feel the pressure to do that. I think, to be honest, the foolproof system is if you ask someone on a date, expect to pay. That seems like it should be the logical thing. I don't know what that noise is, I'm sorry. If you ask someone out, why should the other person have to pay, even if you're the chick and you ask a dude out, and then expect them to pay? Like, it just seems weird, and don't mind me, I'm just like rubbing my nipple. The last question is, are there any things that you'd like to share about gender? And gender is very personal. Respect each other. Don't tell people to kill themselves. Talking about gender, I feel like every time I talk about gender on, like, for example, Tumblr, because I use Tumblr so much, people get angry at each other. Yes, that's like the true scum and too cute people like fighting. Yeah, let me give you a hint. If your argument resorts to calling people names and or telling them to kill themselves, you have a shit argument. So don't do it. Just because you might not necessarily fit into a gendered box does not necessarily mean that you are trans. You can just be gender non-conforming and cis, like that. Plenty of people are like that. If you're doing that, you're kind of enforcing these rigid stereotypes, you know? People have literally gone full circle. It's like, so it's gone from it's okay to be a tomboy to it's if you like boy things, you are a boy. Like, what the hell happened? Express your gender however you want. Be whoever you want, you know? Do you. I don't know. I don't even know what else to say about this topic. But just be nice, play nice, be nice to everyone, love everyone, give everyone hugs, and drink lots of tea. Also, and I kid you not, I have been meaning to say this since my intro video. So this would have been, what, I think this is my 11th week on Transtastic now. I've been on Transtastic for like 11 weeks. And I've been meaning to say this at the end of every single video. I kid you not. And I get to it and I finish editing and I upload it and I watch it when I've uploaded it and I realize like I forgot to say it and it drives me nuts. I try to reply to every single comment on my videos on Transtastic and on my personal channel, but that's not for here. If I cannot reply, that is because YouTube is not letting me reply. And it's so annoying because like sometimes it will let me reply to everyone and then there'll be like 2 comments and I can't reply to them, and it's like people are probably sitting on the end like, why is he not replying? He's replying to everyone else. I promise, I want to. I like the comment. I just can't reply and I don't know why. It's really awful. So I'm sorry. I apologize for that. But I love you guys, and thank you for all the nice comments, it's really nice. And thank you for all the support with my top surgery. It means a lot, like seriously. I'm so glad that I got to share this moment with you guys. It's just really nice. I'm not gonna get emotional, but you know, it was real nice. So thank you guys. I'll see you next week. I don't even know what next week's topic is, but I'll see you next week. Goodbye. Thank God.